Okay, good evening, everybody. I would like to call this meeting to order. At this time, would everybody please rise for our flag salute, and the flag is in the back of the room. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, Mr. Boyce, will you do a roll, please?
Yes, Mrs. Van Horn.
Here.
Dr. Hutchison.
Here.
Mr. Jess.
Here.
Mrs. Hodges.
Here.
Mrs. Sherwin.
Here.
Mrs. Kraska.
Here.
Mrs. Dale.
Here.
Mr. Kimmick.
Here.
Mrs. Smith.
Thank you, Mr. Boyce. Public notice, adequate notice of this meeting in compliance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975, entitled The Open Public Meetings Act, has been provided by by action of the Board of Education at its regular meeting on January 7, 2025. Notices to the Courier News and the Star Ledger circulated in the school district, and a posted notice to this effect on the Board of Education website and Building Bulletin Board Administrative Headquarters, 51 West Cliff Street, Somerville, New Jersey. So I just want to make one comment about the structure of tonight's meeting, because we have a lot of things that are taking place tonight. We're very excited to honor our retirees and our Teachers of the Year and our ESPs of the Year, so we're going to do that in just a few moments. Then we're going to have our student board rep, who are also very excited to have join us tonight, present, and then we're going to do public comment, and then we're going into an executive session. And when we go into the executive session, you're more than welcome to hang out outside if you'd like to. There's going to be cookies and other things, but that's the opportunity for people, if you would like to make a decision at that point, to no longer join us for the business portion of the meeting. It's beautiful out. We understand. Don't take offense, and we won't take offense either. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to turn this over to our superintendent to just kind of orchestrate the recognitions tonight.
Would we like the student rep first, though?
Yeah, why don't we do that? Our student rep.
Hi everyone. So today I'm just gonna really talk about the senior things that are going on end of the year stuff. So there's gonna be a preseason meeting for boys and girls cross country on tomorrow in room 223. So it's just gonna be information regarding registration, medical clearance, and summer training. So if anyone's interested in that, please make sure to attend. And then on May 29th we have the 8th grade mixers. We had incoming freshmen from SMS and BCMS come visit the high school, and they got to meet each other and just get familiar with the high school. So we're all excited to see them in the fall. And then just a congrats to all of the SALA graduates. So on May 6th, before receiving their high school diploma, the hardworking seniors graduated from RDCC with an Associates of Arts degree in Liberal Arts. So congrats to Cassidy Allen, Kaylee Allen, Sophia Benko, Misha Patel, and Leah Venosi. Their dedication, time management, and hard work has set a brilliant example for the entire Somerville community. And then on May 18th, Mrs. Conklin, Mr. Ferguson, Ms. Sullivan, and then selected visual and performing arts students attended the 2026 Somerset County Teen Arts Festival, and they took part in workshops and activities, and they had the chance to perform their work and exhibit everything. So congrats to everyone that were able to attend that. And then for seniors, so tonight is a senior athletic awards day, and then tomorrow will be their class trip, and then Thursday is senior sunset. And then seniors will be able to drop off their devices and chargers on June 16th and 17th before they're able to pick up their caps and gowns. And then the last day of school, along with graduation, is June 18th. And then for final exams, they're starting this Thursday, June 11th, and they're going until next Tuesday, June 16th. So anyone that's taking final, just make sure to double check the schedule, and good luck. And then finally for sports, we just want to congratulate all the spring sports athletes for their hard work and amazing seasons. And as of now, 2026 fall sport registration is open and will be open until August 7th. And then lastly, yearbooks are going to be distributed tomorrow during the school day. So make sure to pick up yours if you purchased one. And they'll also be able to purchase for $100 cash or check, which will be first come, first served.
Okay, thank you so much. Lots of great things going on. Right? So congratulations to all our graduating seniors. You're more than welcome to just wait a few minutes if you want to, or if you have things you have to do, we understand that too. So not putting you on the spot, but you decide what you want to do. All right. Mr. Lisco.
Thank you. So tonight, first of all, we'd like to thank everyone for coming out on this absolutely beautiful day. So as Mr. Kimmick had said, we totally understand when we take a break in a little bit. We understand if you need to leave at that point. With that said, this is one of those special evenings where we get to recognize the people that make everything possible here in Somerville. We do this in this space for a very clear reason. If you look around, It's a much larger space. It's very inviting, and it is perfect to recognize our Teachers of the Year, our Educational Specialists of the Year, and recognize our retirees who have devoted themselves to our district. With that said, just want to talk first about our Educator and Educational Specialists of the Year. What we're going to do is a little bit different than we've done in the past, and I want to thank Mary Kane, our Director of Curriculum, and her team for putting together a very special video recognizing those folks. But just a little bit about the process is in the fall, we solicit invitations and nominations for those two positions at each of our 3 buildings. Each of those buildings then sit down with a committee of educators and parents and administrators to choose our Educator and Educational Specialists of the Year at each of the buildings. We then recognize those folks at each of those buildings shortly thereafter. The county then puts together a wonderful breakfast in the spring right down the street at the Elks Club in Somerville. And then we recognize them as a district here at this meeting every year. So I want to congratulate our Educators of the Year and our Educational Specialists of the Year. They honor and recognize the very best that Somerville has to offer. These professionals lead with heart, skill, patience, and purpose, and we thank them for changing the lives of the students one at a time, often in ways that we never fully know and fully appreciate until we get to recognize them in events like this. So what I'm going to do first is play the video, then I'll call each of you up for a token of our appreciation, and we can take a picture with your family. So thanks everyone for joining us.
We are so lucky to have Mrs. Garreau and Mrs. De Niro here at Vanderveer. They embody what it means to be an amazing educator.
I like working here with the students because they're adorable. They want to learn and they want to be here.
Seeing their smiles when they walk through the door and their excitement for learning, how they love talking about different things, how inquisitive they are.
I hope they remember me as somebody that was fun, that listened to them, and was there for them.
Mrs. Garreau's room has so many opportunities for the students to learn and grow. They get to discover, they get to explore, they get to be kids.
When I was growing up, I had some wonderful elementary teachers, a few that really stood out. My first grade teacher really made a huge impact on me. I hope my students remember me as somebody who cares deeply about them. They will always hold a special place in my heart. I hope that they feel comfortable enough to take risks without fear of failure. I want them to be excited about learning. I want them to remember that I was a good listener, I was empathetic, and that I truly cared about each and every one of them.
Miss Garreau was a really fun teacher. She made learning really fun. I loved the project that we did where she cut up like a lot of strips of paper and wrote our names on the piece of paper, and she hung it up around the classroom, and that was one of my favorite projects that we did.
Mrs. Garreau was an amazing teacher because even though I had her for virtual learning, she still found a way to make every day really fun.
Mrs. Garreau is a special teacher because she helps me a lot working and stuff. She's a great teacher.
We are so lucky to have Mrs. De Niro here at Vanderveer. She loves every one of our students. She works with them, she has patience with them, and she dedicates herself to this school.
Mrs. De Niro is a nice teacher. Mrs. De Niro helps us with our work, and she also helps us with our already now. And he also teaches us some learning.
What motivates me to come is being here to help the kids that need help. With my job, I'm with a lot of the vulnerable children, so that's what's rewarding about being here. Vanderveer is a happy place. Our Somerville community is there for everybody, and I love being part of Somerville.
So we are super excited to recognize and celebrate both Mrs. Tara Marash and Mrs. Nashra Torriello as our SMS Teacher of the Year and Support Specialist of the Year. I couldn't think of two more deserving individuals in our little SMS family over here to be recognized for this great achievement.
If I had to give students advice about following their dreams, I would say that if you're passionate about something, putting in the time is really worth it, and working hard will get you to where you want to go.
Students sometimes think that teachers or other staff, they go home and they forget all about students. I think the biggest thing that students don't realize is I think about them all the time.
When I think of Mrs. Marash, I think of someone that embodies the total package. She is a machine within the classroom and the expectations that she puts in front of her kids and sees the results day in and day out. She is really active in our extracurricular community through all her coaching roles. And then she brings it full circle with the addition of Jackson, our therapy dog, which helps complement her classroom practices for the kids each day.
I was a student athlete growing up and all the way through college, and I remember the impact that my teachers, who were also coaches, made on me, and I wanted the opportunity to do that for my students and my athletes. Getting to share in the successes. I love when they don't think that they can accomplish something and then they get it. It's just such a rewarding experience to be a part of.
I think Miss Marash is a great teacher because she really cares about all of her students, and she understands what we need to continue to grow and learn in her class.
She always makes learning fun by the different games that she does in the classroom.
The environment that she has in her classroom, she makes each of her students feel safe, and she's just a good example for us, I think.
Mrs. Torriello is the person that you picture when you think of school counseling. There is a lot of things that Mrs. Torriello does that everybody sees, but there are a lot of things that you don't necessarily see that Mrs. Torriello is quietly doing in the background that really truly supports and creates an environment that is child-centered and super supportive so our kids can succeed every single day.
The best thing about my job and about being a school counselor and coming here every day would be just working with the students and giving them an outlet and a space to talk, and for me to listen to everything that they are holding in and sometimes can't say to others, and to give them support and guidance where they wouldn't receive it otherwise. The most important thing for students to know as they follow their dreams is don't only focus on the dream, but focus on what you're really good at. Students forget to look at what skills they're really strong in, and I think that can become a part of your dream, a part of your career, can make you really successful.
Miss Torriello makes Somerville a special place because she's able to connect with everybody and listen to everybody's thoughts and what they feel.
She always helps me figure out what I'm feeling, even if I don't know.
She makes people feel heard and makes them feel just part, yeah.
It's my absolute pleasure to congratulate Colin Williamson and Carrie Capozzi on being Educator and Educational Specialist of the Year. They both bring so much to Somerville High School.
Before I became a teacher, I worked in banking and finance. It was a good career, but it was in a career that I didn't feel very fulfilled. I felt that I wasn't helping people, and I didn't have that impact that I felt that I could have.
Students and families allow me to support them and walk alongside them during some of the most difficult and sometimes the most exciting times of their lives.
Colin Williamson, his vision for quality teaching, his learning environments are encouraging inquiry, dialogue, critical thinking. He's also our peer leadership coordinator. He helps build student leadership skills. In addition, he's also a coach.
You truly get to know who the students are, and you use that to help them achieve their dreams, help them achieve what they need to do and to improve both as a young man or a young woman, but also educationally. I love the moment when typically they graduate and they come up and they say thank you. Those moments are incredibly powerful. and make teaching such a great occupation.
I feel like Mr. Williamson is such a great teacher because he is always enthusiastic to teach his class. He always works hard no matter what, no matter the day, even though school could be a lot, he always is ready to teach us and help us become better at the class.
He always brings energy, especially during first block, to keep the students engaged during learning, and he's always supportive when helping with assignments or just in class discussions.
Mrs. Capozzi, I'm always impressed by her innovative and forward-thinking ideas. Her establishment of a food pantry system and her collaboration with social agencies in support of that has been absolutely super supportive of our students here. In addition, she works with our multilingual learners solely in her caseload and does amazing things as well.
Advice I would give to students about following their dreams is that sometimes we need to let go of what we thought that dream was to follow a new dream. When we hold on too tightly to what we think our dream is, sometimes we miss other opportunities. And so I would encourage students to be kind of fluid in what they think about as their dream. I think one of the things that makes our school community really special is that I think we do a good job trying to create a space for everyone. I think that there is a place, whether it is in a club or in a sport or in a particular academic track, for most students to find some kind of home and community and feel included in the Somerville High School space.
I never had like a counselor before. The way she teach me things I didn't know, how to start college, that was really very stressful thing for me.
She's always there to support you, and you never feel like you're bothering her really if you like stop in her office. Or she always has like a plan. If you're feeling like frazzled and everything, she like kind of reels you back in.
What makes the Somerville School District special is our staff. I want to thank our 3 Teachers of the Year and Educational Specialists of the Year for everything that they do for our students. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. Before I call up and celebrate our teachers and educational specialists of the year, I think there's someone really important to thank. As I already said, thank you, Mary, for putting this together and your team. But the producer behind that wonderful video recognizing our people, our special people, is Tyler Kazar. So can we get a round of applause for him? So I'd like to call up our people right now and have them come up with their families for a picture. Thank you so much for everything that you do for our students. You really do make an impact each and every day. First, from Vanderveer, Christine Garreau. Also from Vanderveer Elementary School, Nancy De Niro. Over here. Don't be shy. Come on over here. From Somerville Middle School, Miss Toriello, and I don't believe she was able to make it today, right, Scott? And Miss Tara Morash. And now from Somerville High School, Mr. Colin Williamson. And Mrs. Carrie Capozzi. Really is such an honor to be with such special people that dedicate their lives to our children. Thank you for everything that you do. The great thing about tonight is we have more people to honor, and I'm very excited now to honor our retirees. So the way that we're going to do this is we're going to call up their administrator, the one that they work most closely with. They'll speak to their time with them and celebrate all the great things they did here in Somerville. So I want to take a moment to recognize and thank our retirees for their dedicated service to Somerville Public Schools. A career in education is not measured simply in years, but in countless moments spent supporting students, encouraging colleagues, strengthening programs, and helping shape the life of a school community. Each of our retirees has given a part of themselves to Somerville, and because of their work, our schools are better, our students are stronger, and our community is richer. On behalf of the board, our administration, our staff, our families, and most importantly, our students, thank you for your commitment, your care, and the lasting impact you have made. We wish you health, happiness, and much-deserved joy in this next chapter. To start things off, I'd like to call up Mr. Jerry Foley.
Start it up, work our way down. Hi, everybody. So today, it is my pleasure to say a few words about Mrs. Russo, teacher of Spanish here at the high school. Mrs. Russo joined SHS in 2016 after teaching K-8 Spanish in the Clinton Public Schools. After spending 2 years here in Somerville, she left during the 2018-2019 school year, but did return to SHS in 2019, a decision for which we have all been extremely grateful for. When I think about Mrs. Russo, the first quality that comes to mind is kindness. She is truly one of the kindest individuals I've ever had the privilege to work with. Beyond that, she has been a trusted colleague and a source of support for her department colleagues and students. Jen has always been a steady and calming presence, someone who could see all sides of a situation and help to find a positive path forward. In the classroom, her students always benefited greatly as she approaches every interaction with patience, compassion, and professionalism. She understands that while learning is important, making that learning enjoyable can have a lasting impact. Now, I just have a few comments from her department colleagues. So let's hear what they have to say about her. Jen is the consummate professional, an optimist, and a fellow grammar geek. Most importantly, she is my dear friend and sounding board. Jen is truly one of a kind, She is an amazing colleague, a true mentor, and a great friend to have in your corner. When I first joined the district, she would patiently answer every one of my questions. She would direct me, sometimes even walking me wherever I needed to be. She never hesitates to lend a hand to anyone who needs it, helping to make copies, waiting by the door for students, and coordinating birthdays and general support for colleagues. I will not forget her warmth and incredible spirit. It truly is rare. She was part of the team that made me smile whenever I walked into school. She's truly an amazing human, and I will miss her. I am sad to see Jen leave, but I'm excited to see what the future holds for her. When I first accepted my job at Somerville, she didn't hesitate to reach out and give up her own time, even during the summer, to help me feel prepared for my first year. I knew then that Jen was someone I could rely on and who would serve as a mentor to me. Over the years, Jen continuously proved that first impression to be true. I have watched her go above and beyond, day in, day out, to support not only myself and her colleagues, but her students as well. She has been a wonderful mentor and friend, and I am most definitely going to miss my work mom. From me, Jen, thank you for your years of service, your kindness, and the positive influence you have had on so many people, including myself. You will be missed, and we wish you nothing but happiness and success in your retirement.
Mr. Scott Haid from the middle school.
Good evening, everyone. Sally, would you like to come up here with me? Do I dare bring you near the microphone? So I joked with Sally this morning or this afternoon that I would have the microphone last, so to be careful with what she said. And she enjoyed that because we have some great banter over the last 4 years. So I've had the opportunity to work very closely with Sally the last 4 years, and her and I have had the ability to form quite a nice relationship. So I cherish those memories. Tonight, Sally, we recognize your time and your well-earned retirement after your distinguished career here in Somerville. One of the things that I admire most about you is that you have an honest and unwavering commitment about teaching and learning. Too often in education, it's easy to be caught up in the trend, the initiative, or the fad of the moment. Sally is someone that will not simply follow the latest direction because it was popular. Instead, she's always remained grounded in her beliefs and what she believes is best for students to be successful. Sally is deeply convicted to what she is doing as best for students. Whether it's advocating for an individual child, questioning any one of my decisions, or sharing a different perspective, her motivation was never about being heard, but simply about ensuring opportunity, support, and experiences that would shape and set our students up for success. Even when our opinions differed, everyone knew Sally's perspective came from a true place of care and commitment for the children of SMS. Sally's career will be more than just classroom memories. It's the time that she spent with the SMS cross-country team. It's the friendships throughout the building that will last and stand out for her most. The friendships she built over the years were largely built around shared experiences. Some of the trips with her colleagues to Washington, D.C. specifically stand out. Some of the team conversations, probably around the band. And any other conversation during team meetings that ended with that unforgettable laughter that she has. Sally, as your retirement begins, we hope you enjoy the opportunities that will come with having a little more time on your hands, whether it's spending time on your bike or enjoying the time with your grandchildren. These are the moments that you have certainly earned. Thank you for your years of service, your commitment to SMS, and the students of SMS and the Somerville community that you have positively impacted over the years. We wish you nothing but health, happiness, and many wonderful adventures in retirement. Congratulations and best wishes.
Now I would like to say something. Am I allowed? No. This is to the board. I had an opportunity to sit with the superintendent on an exit interview, but there's some things I think I'd like to share with all of you as I leave this wonderful district. On September 19th, 1796, George Washington delivered the nation's first presidential farewell address, setting a precedent for all future presidents. In that address, he offered both advice and warnings to guide the future of the young republic. Well, as I stand here before you today to say goodbye, I too have some advice and several warnings. First, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to work in this district. It has been an honor of a lifetime to teach the students of Somerville and work with this Board of Education and many of your children. Now for some advice. Do not lose sight of your most precious resource, your teachers. And we've just seen a tiny, tiny glimpse of what is at all three buildings. You are very lucky, and these teachers need nourishment. Make sure administrative decisions are guided first by what teachers and students need rather than trends, optics, or ambitions outside the classroom. I have worked in education for 25 years in private, charter, and public schools, and I can assure you that the most successful schools put teachers first. What does this mean? Well, if a teacher says we have a inconsistent discipline policy in the building, listen to them. Listen to them. If the teachers say we have a curriculum problem, listen to them. Trust your teachers' professional expertise outside political or parental pressures. Trust educators to educate. They are on the front lines. They know what is best. Successful schools also take care to hire only the most highly educated, intellectually curious, and passionate people committed to excellence and student achievement. They provide excellent professional development, supportive coaching, offers career advancement, and enough prep time to actually make meaningful lessons. My second piece of advice, which some of you already know, is to add more rigor to the curriculum. For example, in 2016, 7th and 8th graders read 4 novels throughout the year. Today, that is 1 novel. We have reduced both the volume and complexity of what students are asked to do. Students rise to expectations, and we should trust them with challenging texts, meaningful practice, and rigorous thinking. The research is clear now that students need to know phonics. They need to memorize math facts. This is extremely helpful for brain development. We should return to some of the old school ways. I know I'm old, but some work. Another piece of advice is we need more rigor in grading. We should hold students to higher academic standards and not inflate grades. And finally, please bring back that Washington, D.C. trip. It's really one of the lifetime experiences for the kids. I know Mr. Pace would echo that too. Okay, so the warnings. Be very wary of AI. I know everyone thinks it's the future, but as Ronnie Chan states in his Harvard University commencement address, I'm not really going to say what he said, but he did say this. He said, AI takes all the fun out of learning. He explains further by stating, creating is the fun part. The reason shortcuts to skip to the end aren't always good is that the journey isn't just how we acquire skills. The journey is the point of all of this. Let's keep our eye on that journey, not the destination. Trite but true. Second, along those lines, we should really stop the reliance on Chromebooks, especially in elementary and middle school. Return to a time when Chromebooks were just on a cart, not taken home, not bringing in their backpacks. And as more and more research comes out, it is clear that technology has had a detrimental effect on children's brain development. Its first generation do have a cognitive decline. I can show you the studies. Technology should be a tool, not the environment in which childhood unfolds, especially in the elementary and middle grades. We should reconsider whether constant screen exposure serves our students as well as we once believed. There's nothing wrong with a pencil and paper, and especially if you have to do cursive. It's really good. Be sure to create a cell phone policy. The ban's going to come in place next year, which I'm thrilled about, as people know from me. We need a cell phone policy that the teachers follow with fidelity. That means making sure that we really are strict and that they aren't available all the time. We have found that it's detrimental to the student's mental health, etc. Finally, our district is diverse, and it should be celebrated and studied. Our strength is our diversity, another true platitude. Okay, I leave this district with a profound sense of hope. Somerville has extraordinary students, dedicated educators, and a community that cares deeply about its students. If we continue to listen to one another, protect what matters most, and keep students at the center of every decision, the future of the district is bright. And now, I like to end with my favorite little ditty. I'm so glad we had this time together, just to have a laugh or sing a song. It seems we just get started and now, oh, did I forget it? And now, it's time we have to say so long. Good night, everybody.
For Vanderveer Elementary School, Miss Lindsay Frevert.
It is truly a privilege to stand here tonight to honor one of the most dedicated and compassionate educators I had the pleasure to work with, Mrs. Lisa Elbeck. If we can give her a round of applause. For 29 years, Lisa has been a cornerstone of the Somerville School District. Her journey began back in 1987 as a one-to-one instructional assistant, a role chosen for her because, quite simply, she had the patience. Over nearly 3 decades, her career has demonstrated remarkable versatility, from the PSD class at SMS to self-contained classes at SHS to the PS, ABA, and LLD classes at Vanderveer. Lisa has shown up time and time again for the students who needed her most. We often talk about the impact of a teacher, but with Lisa, that impact is measured in life-changing, quiet miracles. It is seen in those moments where a non-talking student speaks their first word, or where a student finally conquers a food aversion. She has spent her career supporting and caring for our most challenging students, approaching every single day with grace, patience, and unwavering dedication. As one of her colleagues perfectly put it, there is a saying that in this field, you have it or you don't. You either love this work or you don't. Lisa absolutely had it, and she absolutely loved it. That devotion was evident in every lesson, every challenge she tackled, and every child whose life she touched. Lisa, while you have told me that you will deeply miss the daily interactions, the laughter, and the stories shared with your colleagues, please know that you are leaving behind a legacy built on trust and lifelong friendship. On a personal note, I want to thank you. I am deeply grateful for your unwavering support, especially your belief in me when I first took on the role of principal. You were there for me, just as you were for your students. As you embark on this well-deserved retirement, we are so excited for your next chapter. May you enjoy building your new home, traveling the world, and perhaps most importantly, sitting on the beach this September while the rest of us are ringing the morning bell. Thank you, Lisa, for 29 incredible years. You have made a lasting impact on Somerville that will be felt for years to come. It is rare to find an educator whose path is as inspiring as her impact. Tonight, we celebrate someone who didn't just teach students. She showed them exactly what is possible when you refuse to quit. Over her 25 years as an educator, Charlene Takvik has touched the lives of over 9,000 students and hundreds of fellow educators, including myself. Whether teaching third grade or pioneering our technology and coding curriculum, she has been a force of nature. She isn't just a teacher. She is a published author, a conference presenter, and a recipient of the Governor's Teacher Recognition Award. She's been recognized as an exemplary elementary educator and was a state finalist for the New Jersey Presidential Award for Excellence in Math. But if you ask Charlene what she is most proud of, it isn't the plaques. It is the message she sends to every child who thinks they can't do math. She tells them, look at me. I struggled with math, and I teach math. You can do anything if you put your mind to it, are persistent, and don't quit. That motto has defined her career. Charlene has often described Vanderveer as her home away from home, a place sustained by the love, laughter, and support of her colleagues. Several of them are here tonight. While she humbly thanks her family for the sacrifices made during her long hours and early mornings, we want to thank her for the passion she poured into every single day. When I say every single day, Saturday and Sunday as well. She finds joy in the small moments, the 5 minutes of morning duty, the daily interactions with students, and the pride of watching children program their own games and stories. Charlene, making the decision to retire was clearly difficult, but it is a retirement you have truly earned. You now can go to the bathroom whenever you want. Thank you for your leadership, your persistence, and the magic you have brought to our classrooms. You have left a mark on Somerville, and while we will miss you, we are so excited for this next chapter. Please join me in congratulating Charlene Takvik on 25 wonderful years. I have two more that are not here this evening, but I did want to recognize both of them. Helene Gerson has dedicated her career to education, serving as a fourth grade teacher for 17 years and in GNT and intervention for 5 years. When speaking with Helene, we reminisced on the fact that my demo lesson was in her fourth grade classroom and that the kids loved to share with her upon her return that I had given them candy. Helene will deeply miss her students, especially those who needed extra TLC or needed a space to think outside of the box. In her retirement, Helene looks forward to spending time with her grandson, taking classes, tutoring, and traveling. Thank you, Helene, for the years you have put in to support all of our students. You will be missed. And finally, Kathy Sullivan has been a cornerstone of Somerville schools for 25 years. Kathy's career has been defined by her work with our youngest learners. Moving from special education to preschool, she brought deep empathy to every classroom. For the teachers she worked with, Mrs. Sullivan's organization and ability to anticipate every need allowed her partners to focus entirely on teaching, ensuring the whole team's success. Kathy's 25 years of dedication are visible in the smiles of the students and the gratitude of her colleagues. She has left a positive mark on this district. We wish her nothing but joy and relaxation in her retirement.
Thank you and congratulations. We have one more, though, to recognize. Mr. Rob Reevy, come on up, please. When I asked people to share thoughts about Rob, the same theme came up over and over. Rob had an incredible ability to connect with people. He connected with students, he connected with staff, and he had a way of making people feel comfortable and supported. One of the things shared with me was that Rob knew every student's name, and not just their name, he knew something about them. That says a lot about who he is as an educator. Rob understood that before you can truly teach students, you have to know them. A colleague shared a story from Rob's time at the middle school that really captures this. The student was having a very difficult moment at the end of the day and was completely overwhelmed. Rob took the student outside and sat with him on the curb near the middle school field for over 20 minutes. By the end of that conversation, the student went from angry and upset to smiling, giving Rob a high five and heading home in a much better place. That was Rob. He did not need an audience and he did not need recognition. He simply did what students needed at that moment. You could also find Rob in the cafeteria talking with students, sitting with them, or pulling out a deck of cards to do a magic trick. He had a gift for using those small moments to build trust. He was especially important to students who needed a positive male role model. Whether he was helping a student start the day off right, teaching a student how to ride a bike, or just taking the time to listen, Rob led with patience, empathy, and care. He also had a real impact on staff. So several colleagues shared that he checked in on them, made sure they felt included, and offered encouragement when they needed it. And Rob brought a lot of fun to work. He embraced school spirit, jumped into Halloween costumes, supported all school events, allowing himself to be silly, but at the same time recognized by all the students. He also told some long stories. I think everyone who knows Rob knows exactly what I mean. But those stories almost always ended with a smile and usually carried a message about the good he saw in the student and in the people. One former student may have said it best when they said, "Mr. Reevy was the best math teacher I ever had. He made people feel that they could do math for the first time." That is what great educators do. They help students see something in themselves that they may not have seen before. Rob, on behalf of the Board of Education, the administration, your colleagues, and many students whose lives you impacted, we thank you. Thank you for your kindness, your humor, your steady presence, and your commitment to students. We wish you nothing but the best in your retirement. You have earned it, and you'll always be part of the Somerville family. Thank you. Could all our retirees please come up for a group picture? Right over here, right, Ariel? Right. You guys can all jump in. I know we're missing a couple, but.
All right, well, I just want to, on behalf of the board, congratulate everybody who is retiring, all of our educators of the year. You know, the stories are very humbling. I mean, when people come up and say the kinds of things that are said tonight about staff, you know, you realize again how special this place is, how special Somerville is. And we know there's hundreds of other stories, thousands of other stories like that that you all have across your career. So thank you so much for everything that you've done for our students, for the community, you know, just the contributions that have been made. I know the retirement thought is a hard one for people, and we wish you all the best in your retirement. And for the educators of the year who are going to remain with us, we look forward to all the great things that you're going to do for our community, for our students, and thank you again for everything that you bring each and every day to work. So, okay, so moving on in our agenda, we are going to open the floor to public comment at this point. At this time, comment is invited on agenda items, non-agenda items, or any matter related to the school district. When permitted, public participation shall be governed by the following rules under bylaw 0167. I won't read all of them. I will just remind people if you're going to make a comment, please make sure you state your name, your municipality of residence, and your group affiliation if it's applicable. You know, each statement should be limited just to about 3 minutes. And we would just ask that no participant speak more than once on the same topic until all others who wish to speak on that topic have been heard. And just if you have things that you're directing to the board, just I remind everybody, just direct them to myself as a presiding officer. So at this time, the floor is open to public comment if anybody would like to come up and make comment. If you would like to, sure.
Thank you. Hi, I'm Sharon Grunick. I live at 548 Carlton Street in Bound Brook. I am currently a high school teacher of English, and I am the SCA president. And I just want to thank again all of the retirees, the teachers of the year, the ESP of the year. I've talked to you many times privately and in person, but just so grateful for your service and everything that you bring to our district every day. And I know you guys know how lucky we are, and it's just wonderful to be able to congratulate you. So I want to take the opportunity to say thank you for everything you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you for your comment. Any other public comments? Okay, seeing none, can I have a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Ms. Sherwin, second.
Second.
Ms. Dale. Any discussion? None? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, public comment is now closed. All right, so at this point, the board is going to enter into a first executive session. So, Ms. Sherwin, do you mind reading that thing, and I'll hand you the mic?
Sure.
While you do that, that'd be great.
The Board of Education of the Somerville School District in the County of Somerset will adjourn into a closed meeting to discuss the items which fall within an exception of our open meetings policy and permits the board to have a private discussion. Since it deals with specific exceptions contained in NJSA 10:4-12B, A, matters rendered confidential by federal law, state law, or court rule. B, individual privacy. And H, attorney-client privilege. And that's it. Be it resolved that the board will now go into private session to discuss matters rendered confidential by personnel employment matters affecting a specific prospective or current employee. Any discussion held by the board, which need not remain confidential, will be made public as soon as practical. Minutes of the private session will not be disclosed until the need for confidentiality no longer exists. All appropriate persons who may be discussed in private session have been adequately notified. We do not anticipate action to be taken following the executive session.
Outstanding job, thank you. Okay, is there a second there?
Second.
Was it you the first time and I messed it up? Well,
Rock,
just,
paper, scissors, rock,
okay. My apologies. Did you get that, Mr. Boyce? It was not Ms. Dale, it was Ms. Hutcherson. Okay, yes. And so was the other one, so make that note, please. All right.
We
All
have
right.
tallies.
Is there any discussion? Okay, all in favor, I need to do a roll for that. All in favor of entering executive session?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, the board is now in executive session at 6:55. You are welcome to come back when we're done, but there are cookies and great items outside. And if you're leaving, have a wonderful evening, everybody. Thank you. Congratulations. Okay. All right, good evening again, everybody. We are returning from executive session, so could I please have a motion to return to public session?
So moved.
Ms. Sherwood, second, anybody? Ms. Saunders, okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, we have returned to public session at 8:26. All right, so moving on with the agenda, we are going to move on to approval of minutes. I'll just read this one. Resolved that the Board of Education approve the minutes of the Board of Education meeting as follows. May 12, 2026, regular meeting. May 12, 2026, executive session. Can I have a first on that?
So moved.
Thank you. A second?
Second.
I don't know who said that. Ms. Hutchinson. All right, so we have a second. Any discussion? Okay, Mr. Boyce, you do a roll on that one, please?
Yes. Mrs. Van Horn.
Yes.
Dr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Jess.
Yes.
Mrs. Hodges.
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwin.
Yes.
Mrs. Kraska.
Yes.
Mr. Kimmick.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Boyce. All right, just a very, very brief Board President's report, because we've had a very busy agenda tonight. I just want to extend congratulations to all of our graduating seniors, all of our rising 8th grade students. There's been so many accomplishments in the Ville this year. We have just really, I think, a great deal to be proud of. We're really looking forward to graduation next week for our seniors, and we wish all of them the best of luck in their next endeavors as they move on to college or career or military, whatever they happen to be doing. But we're all very proud of the work that took place and the work that they did, of course, during their academic career. I also want to thank the staff for everything that they have done this year, the support that they've shown for the students, the hard work that's taken place. School years go in ebbs and flows, and the last month of the school year is probably one of the most draining experiences people can have if you're in education. And it's something, again, that we do appreciate just the energy, the work, the commitment that goes into closing out a school year, because there's a lot of extra events that take place, and we're all well aware of that. So thank you to everybody for just a great body of work that took place this year. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to our superintendent for his report.
I am going to echo Mr. Kimmick's report and just say a few brief statements. So first of all, I want to congratulate our graduates and their families. This is the culmination of their time here in Somerville, and it's very exciting. I love going to all the end of the year events. There's so many celebrations that really just highlight how special our students are and how special our school community is, so thank you for everyone involved with that. With that said, a big thank you to all our students, our staff, and our school community for everything they do to get to this point. This is the time for us to really reflect, look back, and celebrate all the good things that happen here. And as Bill said, it's a tiring month, but what you can really see is all the good things that happen in Somerville. And last but not least, I want to thank all the interest in our open seat, in which we will be interviewing folks soon. Thank you for being gracious with time.
Okay, thank you. We're going to do a very brief report, board on committees. So we had 2 finance and security building and grounds meetings. So Ms. Van Horn, can you just give us a quick report there?
Well, both of those meetings were basically interviews for interviewing for legal counsel and insurance carriers.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. All right, Communications Committee, Ms. Hutchison?
Yep.
Or Dr. Hutchison?
I'll keep it brief. May 19th, we had a communications committee with the public, and we really were talking about the referendum updates. And just for everyone who want to hear the referendum updates, if you have a child in the school, you would have seen that in your monthly newsletter with a link to it. Or also you can go to the website and hear the referendum updates as well. It lays out the timelines for all the wonderful things that will happen around the district. So note to everyone to go there. June 3rd, we talked about who might be one of the people that will do our strategic plan. And just to say that we're still reviewing the information, and we'll have a proposal for who that we believe who the communications committee believes should do it at the July meeting.
Great. Okay, thank you so much for the update. We did have a technology and curriculum and instruction committee update, but that will take place at the July meeting because Mrs. Dale had to leave to go join remotely. So she will be joining us for the interviews, but cannot be here for this portion of the meeting. And then I don't believe we had any other committees meet. So we are going to move on to our business portion of the meeting. We are going to do again, as we have been doing, just a consent agenda. So first we're going to do preschool through grade 8. Are there any items in preschool through grade 8 that board members would wish to pull for separate consideration? All right, seeing none, can you please do that motion for us?
Sure. Motion to approve that items 1 through 31 be moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Appointments and salaries contingent upon verified documentation.
Okay, is there a second for that motion?
Second.
Okay, Ms. Van Horn, any discussion? All right, seeing none, Mr. Boyce, could you do a roll, please?
Yes, Mrs. Van Horn.
Yes.
Dr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Jess. Mrs. Hodges.
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwin.
Yes.
Mrs. Kraska.
Yes.
Mr. Kimmick.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith. Oh, I'm sorry, not Mrs. Smith on that one.
Okay. Good job, Mr. Boyce. All right. All right, so we are moving on to 9th grade through 12th grade and district-wide. That begins on page 14 for board members. I just want to point out that we do have a change on item number 62. There are 3 approvals there for positions for next year. We are removing and striking Alicia Lyle, who was listed on the agenda for the supervisor of math position. So on that item 62, we are only approving the first 2 names there. Okay. All right. Can you
I
read?
can do that.
Read that
Motion to approve that items 32 through 98 be moved upon the recommendation of the superintendent of schools. Appointments and salaries contingent upon verified documentation.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Van Horn. Okay, any discussion?
Was that? No.
Ms. Van Horn.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, who was it?
No,
Me, again.
Come on.
I think it was both of us.
Are you sure? I think Ms. Van Horn said it.
She won.
You said it, right?
She won.
It was Ms. Van Horn. I'm going with Ms. Van Horn. All right, it is. Okay. Discussion, besides who said it.
Exactly.
No.
All right. Okay, Mr. Boyce, your roll, please.
Yes, Mrs. Van Horn.
Yes.
Dr. Hutchison.
Yes.
Mr. Jess.
I abstain on item 36. I vote no on item 38 and yes on everything else.
Mrs. Hodges.
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwin.
Yes.
Mrs. Kraska.
Yes.
Mr. Kimmick.
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And I want to thank just the administration for all of the work that kind of went into compiling. There's a number of staff approvals on here. There's approvals that are setting up next school year. There's been a lot of interviewing taking place, so making sure that we're in a position to be fully staffed when we begin the school year in September, and that all starts now. So thank you to the senior administration, but also all the principals who are doing these interviews as well. It's a lot of work. All right, moving on to old business. Are there any old business items that board members would like to bring forward? Okay, seeing none, could I have a motion to close old business?
So
So-
moved.
Ms. Van Horn.
Second.
Ms. Sherwin, second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, old business is closed. Are there any new business items that board members would like to bring forward? Seeing none, can I please have a motion to close new business?
Motion to close.
Ooh, very nice. You got that?
Amanda.
No.
No, Kate. It was Kate.
Who?
Kate.
Oh, Kate.
Yes. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, Dr. Hutchison. All right, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? New business is closed. Okay. Good job, everybody. All right. So we're moving on to the portion of the meeting where we are going to be conducting our Board of Education interview. There are 5 candidates for the Board of Education. As our superintendent just said, I do want to thank everybody who is expressing interest in the seat, who put your name in. Just a commitment itself in terms of taking that step, I think, is something that's very important to the community. And I hope we can only appoint one person tonight, but I hope all of you will consider putting your name in for the election that's going to be taking place. And the deadline on that is it's the end of this month, I believe, right?
July.
Thank you. It's July 27th. You still know that from last year. Good for you.
I recently saw it.
Yeah, okay. So just keeping that in mind too, I think that is important for all of you to understand. The way that we are going to conduct this is the order is going to be in the order that we received. the resumes. So we will have Mr. Rafferty first, Ms. Danbury, Mr. Nardoni, Mr. Sergio, and Mr. Burns. So that will be the order that we'll conduct the interviews in. Excuse me?
Ms. Burns.
Oh, I apologize, Ms. Burns. I'm so sorry. As we conduct the interviews, for the first one, Mr. Rafferty will be the only person in the room. So all other candidates will need to exit the room, go into the hallway. When we conduct a second interview, Ms. Danbury will be interviewed. Mr. Rafferty can stay because he's already answered the questions, and we'll just continue in that pattern as we go across. Ms. Burns, you have to stay out in the hallway the entire time. I apologize. So, you've been out there for a while, so. Well, okay. Oh, okay. The questions that we ask the candidates will be the exact same questions. So there'll be no variation in the questions that are asked. Everybody will have the same questions, the same opportunity to respond to those questions. The only two board members that will ask questions will be myself and Ms. Sherwin. We will follow the same order for the questions as we go through that, and we are allocating about 10 minutes for each one. So I think it's important for all of you to understand we all have your resumes. Everybody's reviewed your resumes, so we know that background about you. I think from the standpoint of the questions that are being asked, we believe that those are questions that will just give the board some information about what's not on your resume that will help us also make a decision. At the end of that process, the board will go into executive session again. You can't be present for the executive session. We will not take any action in executive session. That is solely to deliberate during executive session. And when we come out of executive session, that's where the board will actually go through the process of formally nominating anybody that the board feels should be considered for the seat. And then we'll go through a process of conducting the votes at that point, which I'll review again as we go through that. Okay? Do board members have any questions about process? Okay. So what I will do at this point is ask all the board members, you have a folder, you have the questions that are in the folder, you have a candidate sheet for each person, and you have the resume information that's in the folders as well. And at this point, I would ask everybody but Mr. Rafferty to please exit and enjoy your time in the hallway. So we'll just go in this order. All right.
Every time?
Every time.
Appreciate it. I'm just checking in. Steph, can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, great.
Can you see me or no?
Yeah, I can see you. I mean, it's not pointed towards me, it's pointed towards the, but yeah.
Okay, just making sure. Yep, I'm definitely here. I'm listening.
Okay, great.
Thanks. Thanks for checking.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, how about you?
All right. So
Hey.
as I explained to everybody, we're going to ask you the same set of questions. I think just important to kind of understand we all have your resume, so just understand that, and just try to speak to us more outside the resume. I think is going to be really important. So I'm just going to ask the first question: why do you want to be a member of the Board of Education?
So I want to be a member of the Board of Education, first off, to help.
I'm sorry, can you turn off your microphone only because it's loud enough, we don't want the people in the hallway
Oh,
hearing.
okay, yeah, sure.
Thank you.
There we go. So first off, my son Nathan is going into kindergarten at Vanderveer Elementary, and we just had our daughter Lydia. So I want to make sure that I can help make the school district be the best for not only them but for all students coming through our district. I also want to help drive decision making in a world that is filled with all sorts of technology and a lot of new things that are coming into play. And there's going to be a lot of policy, and there's going to be a lot of questions, and I feel that I have some of the answers to those questions, and I could be a large help in that arena. Also, as I've been navigating the special education process with my own son, I think that I could be a resource there, and would like to help make that process, easier and help make decisions that could help our most vulnerable population. And I think that really is a big part of kind of what drives me. People don't really understand what it means to serve those students until they have one of those students, and just the smallest thing of through his most recent evaluation is like him struggling to see like the corners of pages and different stuff like that, and seeing how the district staff has used tools like slant boards and magnifying glasses and stuff like that has been a huge up. And we have a lot of members of our community that, we got Nathan involved at Vanderveer at 3 years old before there really was a 3-year-old program for everyone. So, just making sure that people know that there's a lot of people that miss that opportunity. And I feel like being on the board, we can, kind of, one, help get the word out, but also make decisions that help those students, help all students overall, and navigate the new world we're looking at, and the current world we're looking at using technology as well.
Right. Thank you.
How do you believe the Board of Education can impact students and overall achievement?
So I think there's a few different ways, and first is by appointing members of the administration. So when you appoint your superintendent and looking at that, you make a decision that this is the direction that we want our community to go in. As we're looking forward towards the strategic plan as well, is okay, well, where do we want to be in 5 years, right? It's not necessarily going to be a change that happens all today. There is going to be a trickle, and supporting those teachers is huge. But also understanding that there is other parts of our community and our school district, all the way from food services to maintenance staff, to IT professionals. I'm just looking at the guys that were over here, helping run the board meeting, and kind of looking at those items of policy that will affect not only the students and teachers, but those individuals as well. I also feel that I come with a lot of knowledge from being not a teacher in a school district, but from being an IT professional in a school district. I kind of have a different way of looking at things, and I think I could provide that perspective to the Board of Education that would be beneficial to our community. And there are a lot of educators and school personnel on this board, and I think that's great. I think it's really helped make decisions over the past few years. And I want to be a part of that. I also come prepared. So, looking at a small piece of policy that maybe has been overlooked for some years that, may help in issues that we may face, coming up in the next year or down the road. Also, making decisions when doing something like a referendum, when you are interviewing contractors and vendors and all that. A large part of my job is project management, and I understand and work with multi-million-dollar contracts in the role that I am in my school district, and I think that my knowledge in that area can really help on the infrastructure side of things when it comes to the Somerville School District.
Thank you.
So how can or should the Board of Education engage the community?
I think there's a few different ways. The one thing that I have really kind of grown to appreciate just from being to a few board meetings is that you as a whole put the public comment first. So respecting people's time allows a lot more people to feel comfortable to come and speak, especially understanding that people have busy schedules. One of our candidates being at the senior awards, but giving them that notification ahead of time that like, hey, like this is what time it is, feel comfortable coming at 8. Communication is huge. So even communicating on that, small level of like, this is your time to speak, or this is the time you have to be there, is a great way of outreach. The newsletters, I have absolutely loved being at Vanderveer, and that they link to kind of other parts of the website. If I want to find out more about the referendum, I think that's a huge way to know about what's going on. Opening some of the discussions up to the community, whether it be about the referendum or special ed, has been a huge up as well. I think the Board of Education really needs to kind of listen to those public comments and take what is in them and realize that we serve the students, but we are chosen by the public. And Somerville being a small town, it's a very different dynamic than a lot of areas around us, whether it be like a Bridgewater or a Franklin or a Hillsborough. Is when I walk down Cliff Street, and we walk every day, it's I never know what I'm going to find. A lot of times I'm like with my wife and my son and my daughter, and we're walking, and it could be like a Saturday. A lot of times I'm like, that's just a Somervillian Saturday, is when we're we run into a bunch of friends and our day gets totally sidetracked. But that small community environment is really through communication and listening to our peers and looking out for everyone. And I think we can kind of bring that to the Board of Education, whether it be talking about an addition, or like right now when you're doing the auditorium. What I really liked about when we were looking at the auditorium and the gym for the current referendum is it wasn't just the sports teams that was referenced. The inclusion of robotics, the inclusion of like the band having a place to do their concert. I thought looking at that whole picture really kind of embodied the Somerville community, and I think the board should do a good job at trying to embody the Somerville community as a whole in decisions that they make, because it is a very unique and great place to live.
If you were selected to serve on the Board of Education, what perspective would you bring to the board that may not already be represented?
I think I'm reiterating it a little bit, but I think it's important. The perspective I bring is that of someone that has been in education, but a lot on, especially recently, kind of the business side of education. I work out of the administration building where I work, and I do get to go into schools, but I also see how the day-to-day business goes. I see how my busy season ramps up the day school ends, and that there are people working nonstop until and continuing into the school year. I think that perspective is a very unique one. My wife is also a teacher. She's a teacher of high school English, and seeing that perspective that she comes home with, I'm the first person that she brings her successes, her frustrations, her worries about maybe a student who reached out that might have graduated a few years ago. So I also, bring some of her perspective, but I also know when she is being maybe reactionary to things, and realize that sometimes, after a day or two, that we take a step back, that we view these situations differently. I also am, I work in a very large district and have to rely on many different teams of people to complete a lot of tasks that I have. And some of the tasks that I have are over 3 to 5 years. So for example, we are doing a camera server upgrade, and but for budgetary reasons, we have to look at, okay, so we can upgrade these systems this year, and then we can roll these parts into another system, and so kind of understanding how the budget's going to work but also understanding timelines of when technology expires. So understanding how, you know, 1 year, the next year is contingent on the year before it, and what we may do in one project has effect on the next project. I think is very important to look at the big picture and not just look at a project or an initiative as a one-off endeavor.
All right, now we're just about at the end of our time, so in a minute or so, is there anything else you would like to share with the board about your qualifications that we should consider?
I really hope that when looking at this role, we're looking for someone that wants to be on the board for, you know, a continued amount of years. I'm looking at this as just the start, and hopefully, you know, building into the future. Because I feel like the consistency that a board has is really important to a district, and if there isn't that consistency, the effort from year to year is really lost. I think that, you know, we really need to listen to our teachers, we need to listen to our parents, we need to listen to the students, and the student representatives being here is a huge part of that. Having the students in the video for the Educators of the Year was just like so great to see, and I think that like helped with just the morale of the meeting, especially probably for you guys who you know, sitting through a long executive session. You know, that morale is very important to keep people interested, and I think you guys do a really good job at board morale and keeping things, you know, you guys have discussions, but you all respect each other, and I think that's really important. I want to thank you all for the time to speak today, and for the great presentation earlier. I enjoyed actually being here for it. That was really nice to see, and I hope that you know, to join you guys sitting over there, and you know, if not, then come November, you know, we'll give it another try. So, thank you so much.
Thank you. Grab a cookie and come sit.
I grabbed a few out there.
All right, you're welcome to stay now.
All right, thank you.
So now we have Mrs. McCamber.
Good idea.
Oh, yeah. All right, so as I said, Ms. Denbury, we are going to ask you the same questions that we asked the other candidates. And the only two people that will be asking the questions are Ms. Sherwood and myself. Keep in mind that we have your resume, so everybody's had the opportunity to review your resume. So I think when you're answering the questions, try to think, you know, what's not included in the resume that we talked about. So the first question is, why do you want to be a member of the Board of Education?
So, moved to Somerville 2.5 years ago, and both my kids have had a really great experience here. I've been thinking about different things, like wanting to go back to school, wanting to do something to keep like furthering my education. Then I had an intern this year who was my age, same kids, everything, and she was in school, and I was like, yeah, I definitely don't want that. I was like, I don't want to go down that road. But thinking of other ways to like continue learning and also be a positive influence, you know, for my kids and for the community. And they're super happy here, and if they're happy, I'm happy. So it's just another way to get involved and, you know, just be part of the community and the family that we've found here.
Great. Thank you.
Okay, how do you believe the Board of Education can impact students and overall achievement?
So, I mean, I think the board plays a big role, but at the same time, like, not a big role, because really the teachers are at the forefront of everything. They're the ones at the front lines, carrying out what I guess you guys, you know, are the policies, the goals, the programs that we decide on having. So there's that part of it. I think, you know, communicating with the teachers, communicating with the families, even the students. I mean, elementary school kids will talk to you all day about what they like and what they don't like. Just getting involved and then seeing what's going on firsthand, reviewing the data that comes in from the programs that you're using, and seeing where they're, you know, where you're not meeting the goals that you've set out, and, you know, why are we not meeting them? What do we need to do differently? What kind of changes should there be? Because we can't always go to like the end thing, like, okay, I always use analogies, my river analogy, like, okay, well, we're gonna pull him out of the river where he's drowning. Like, that's great, yes, we wanna do that, but like, why did he fall in, you know? So going back to the core of things and trying to determine why something isn't working, why achievement isn't at the places where we want it to be, instead of just trying to, we just need to fix it, figure out why it kind of went off track to begin with.
So you mentioned this just a minute ago, so I'm going to follow up on this one. So how can or should the Board of Education engage with the community?
I think the most important part of any piece of education is being a good listener, and also communicating to people that, like, listening doesn't necessarily mean agreeing with you, but I can still listen to your concerns. I know a lot of people, I feel like, think that, you know, the board is superheroes. You guys like have this great power, you know. But at the end of the day, like, you're just parents too, or, you know, grandparents, aunts, uncles, community members. You're normal people, right? So you know, just communicate how you would, and let people know that there's, you know, when they have complaints or issues, there is a chain of command that they should be following. You know, sometimes people, well, I know somebody on the board, so I'm going to get ABC. Like, no, that's not how it works. You know, you're not giving special treatment to anyone. But again, just communication is key, just listening, because a lot of times when people are upset or angry, that's all they really want. They just want to feel like they're being heard. And that's literally what I do every day as a counselor, is listening to people. So I really think that's the biggest part of it.
Thank you.
If you are selected to serve on the Board of Education, what perspective would you bring to the board that may not already be represented?
I think, as you know, as a school counselor and as a mom, everyone has a different perspective. Everyone has a different upbringing and everything. But again, just the listening piece, working together collaboratively, knowing that you're not always going to make everyone happy. There's going to be disagreements. I think just moving forward from those disagreements, strong schools don't just happen. They happen from, like, the dedication of the people that are employed by the schools. And I think the school counselor background is, you know, it can be very similar to a teacher's background, but can also be very different. You know, finding out more about, again, like, what's really going on with the students, and looking at different aspects of things that, you know, maybe are test scores related to socioeconomic things. You know, are there other ways that we can support these students to try to get them to where scores need to be, and just looking at the whole picture, and not just individual parts in it.
Thank you.
All right, so last question, and you know, you have a couple minutes to kind of think about this, but is there anything else that you would like to share about your qualifications and why you would be most qualified to be on the board?
I mean, I think everyone here tonight is qualified. I mean, I don't know all of their backgrounds, but just from chatting with them, I mean, anybody who put their name in and just wants to be a part of something bigger in the community, you know, it just shows that they care. And that's the thing. Like I said, I've been so lucky to find, like, another family here in Somerville. And I feel like I really, you know, I'm a family person. You want to love, support, care for your family, and I feel like that's something that the school board does. You're also able to, like, help support help support the staff members that are here, because they're such a big part of it. You know, there's really nothing without the teachers, and as I said earlier, they're at the front lines, so they're dealing with all the crazy things that you never got prepared for in college that come in every day. And I think that's so important because, you know, sometimes people are so quick to put blame on a teacher. Well, the teacher didn't do this, the teacher didn't do that, and not consider everything that they're dealing with every day. And, you know, having worked in a school for so many years, I've seen the administrative side, you know, I've seen the school counselor side. I have a lot of teachers in my family, so I get to see all those different perspectives, and I would be excited to see this perspective of it too, and you know, use it as another way to support the community, support my kids, and support all of their friends and the families here.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
Right that table in front of us.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good, how are you? All right, as I mentioned, we're going to ask you just the same questions we asked the other candidates. We have about 10 minutes for the interview. The board has your resume, so everybody has looked at it. So when you're answering your questions, just try to think outside your resume, things that we may not you know, be able to know just by looking at that. Ms. Sherwin and myself are the only two that ask the questions, and we'll get started, okay? All right, so why do you want to be a member of the Board of Education?
I started as a math teacher when I got to college. Only lasted about a year because I couldn't afford it. So that's how I went into private business. Very concerned about education. My son had dyslexia. My 3 grandchildren had dyslexia. So I'm very concerned about that and its impact on school. I had a different experience, I think, than a lot of other people. Starting businesses, working at AT&T, working for the city of West Palm Beach. So I have a very wide experience. I'm very collaborative. I think I'm very communicative. So I have a lot of critical experiences, I think, which could be good for the school board. It's unusual. My daughter thinks I'm nuts. She said, "Dad, you don't have any kids there." I said, "But I'm retired. I want to give back." And it's part of the reasons I want to give back. So.
Thank you.
How do you believe the Board of Education can impact students and overall achievement?
I think you need to provide them with all the tools that are necessary. I understand there's always fiscal concerns, monetary concerns to provide all of the tools that the students need. But I think you have to prioritize those and ensure that it gets done efficiently and effectively. For example, I'm a little concerned about, I read the math proficiency for the state. I was a little concerned as a math person. I was a little concerned about those numbers. So how do we provide, get that better for all of the students? And I'm not sure, not being a school board member, how you would do that, but I think there's things that we can do to ensure that all of those things are effective. Even though I only taught for a year, I learned a lot. And I learned a lot that was needed in the school. Once again, this is an interesting town. I just moved back after 20 years in Florida. I lived in White House for 35 years, so I'm very familiar, but this is a very interesting, lovely town. And I want to make sure that the kids get the best experience possible. So.
How can or should the Board of Education engage the community?
Efficiently, a lot. one of the things I found in a lot of the organizations I work with is they're very good, not good about communicating and communicating effectively and often. I think people need to know what's going on. You can't shield them from the problems. You allow them to know what what the achievements are. So using technology, today there's no reason why you can't get to every parent a lot through emails and all of those technologies. So I think communication is really important. I mean, I've been in a lot of organizations where it was very bad, and we've learned by changing that, it really made the organizations a lot more effective. So, thank you.
If you are selected to serve on the Board of Education, what perspective would you bring to the board that may not already be represented?
I sort of feel like I'm an outlier because of all the experience. I think there's a lot of people here that have a lot of educational experiences. I don't have that per se, but I have a lot of real world experiences. I was talking to somebody outside, a lot of the things that I thought I was going to enjoy about teaching, I really enjoyed when I was working outside in business. I do a lot of lectures, a lot of publishing, and all of that stuff. So that's the kinds of thing that I would like. I bring that, I think, a different perspective. You have to determine whether that's something you want. Once again, I have a lot of experience in a lot of different areas. I've learned a lot from going from private to public. Enormous learning on my part, the difference between that and private business. So interesting, I learned a lot about that, and I think it could bring that perspective to the board.
All right, so we have a few more minutes. Is there anything else you would like to share with the board about your qualifications that may not be in your resume or you haven't shared with us already?
I think I've included most of the things I've done in a few years of my life. Once again, we just moved back here a year ago. We love Somerville. We've done years of work with Somerset Hospital. Our Family Foundation has a 30-wing unit there. We serve a lot of things. University of Pennsylvania, West Palm, a lot of organizations. So once again, part of the thing I'd like to give back, and how I can do that is through coming around to my original education.
Great, thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Sugio, thanks for being here tonight.
Thank you for having me.
So, as I mentioned, we're going to ask the same questions we asked the other candidates. Ms. Sherwin and myself will be the only two asking the questions. We'll have about 10 minutes for the interview. We all have your resume, so we've read your resume. When you're answering the questions, just try to think outside your resume as well, when you're providing responses, okay? So why do you want to be a member of the Board of Education?
I appreciate that question, Mr. President. Why do I want to be a member of the Board of Education? I think I'll elaborate a little further. I have been active in the Somerville community for the better part of 25 years. And I'm going to date myself back to when I was interviewed for the last time. There was an open seat, and I was asked why I want to be a member of the Board of Ed, and I said at that time, which I was coaching, doing a lot of community activities as far as coaching the Scouts, you name it. I would know every student in the elementary school. And it was at that time I said, you know, if I could do this all over again, I'd be a teacher, just because of that student engagement. I've served for a certain amount of time, and I do believe that I still have that desire, and I can still add that value that comes being a board member to ensuring that, I'll say this in layman's terms, students are succeeding, students are getting prepared for college and careers. And that was one of the first shifts that I saw as a board member, was the college and career readiness. You know, and with that being said, I look forward to, if that were ever to happen, I look forward to continuing that journey.
Thank you.
How do you believe the Board of Education can impact students and overall achievement?
How they can contribute to overall achievement.
How can we as a board impact students and overall achievement?
Okay. Well, the board serves as a policy-making board, and that policy, we are accountable for that policy moving forward, and the superintendent is accountable to the board. Now, with that, we are reviewing and constant review of the policies, constant review of the state mandates and the state requirements, okay? And then also, from a cultural perspective, that we are engaged not only with the staff, but also with the community, okay? Because we believe that there are multiple variables that are involved in ensuring student success, and I keep mentioning students, okay? And the main driver for student success is for the acknowledgement, the highlighting, and appreciation, okay, for teachers, providing those resources for teachers, and that's one of the considerations when it comes to policy making for the board. Because without teacher stakeholdership, okay, student outcome can be severely impacted.
Thank you.
So you touched on this a little bit, so just an opportunity to expand on it. How can or should the Board of Education engage the community?
Engaging community, that's very simple. Oh no, I'm not gonna say it's simple. I'm gonna walk that back. There are many ways to engage with the community. Obviously, the number one way I would think is engaging within the schools, because that's where school events, that's where a lot of the parents reside, and you can engage in meaningful conversation with those parents. And if they may express certain concerns, but they may also express certain ideas that are thoughtful, and in that way, in engaging community through the schools, you can also advise them on the chain of command that that actually is a part of district improvement. So also is engaging, because we're a small community, so right, and most of us know each other, most of us know the government officials in town. And what the board does very well is they do have that conduit between the Board of Education and the town council. Right? And so that way, that's also another way to kind of gauge, discuss, and share knowledge in as far as community service and community engagement in that respect. There are two big questions when a family is moving into Somerville. And the two big questions are right here. What are the taxes like, and how are the schools? All right, and with that said, this is a kind of a shared initiative between the council as well, and the mayor, and the superintendent, to actually build that relationship. And when that relationship is fostered, that's a kind of a win-win scenario with regards to the community. I hope that answered some of your questions.
Thank you.
So if you're selected to serve on the Board of Education, what perspective would you bring to the board that may not already be present?
I appreciate that question. That's a good question. What perspective do I bring to the board? I'm going to speak to my personal attributes. I have a good quality of listening. I have a good quality of leaning in when it comes to gaining perspectives. I know my certain strengths, or the things that, or I'll say my comfort zones. All right, and I know those, but I also am open to development. In my 28-year career, I'm not that old. I'm still working. You know, in my 28-year career, I've always tried to identify my areas of expertise and also my development opportunities. I don't call them weaknesses, because, like, for example, in soccer, your left foot can be a weaker foot, but it's not your weak foot. And I'm proud to say, or at least I'm confident to say, that I have served my career in identifying and having that discussion with my colleagues and my management as far as my development opportunities. And that's by active listening and leaning into conversations and even having those, you know, authentic conversations, even when perspectives differ, you gain a level of understanding and respect. And, you know, and I think through my approach, I feel that I've gained the respect of a lot of my employees and colleagues in that regard. So if there is, for example, a resolution that I may feel strongly against, and I engage in those discussions with the other board members, when it comes time for the final vote, regardless of my vote, it comes with the respect of the 8 other board members who voted. And then I would walk away understanding and then trying to learn from that to understand why that outcome was it was. Because at the end of the day, it's student and teacher success that's most important. It's not about me. I'm a we mentality person, not an I mentality, although my wife feels I should take some credit more often, but I don't care to do that. I'm just proud to be a part of something.
Thank you.
All right, last question. Just thinking outside your resume, outside of what you've already shared, in just a minute or two, is there anything else you would like to share with the board about your qualifications for the board seat?
Okay. It's a loaded question. I appreciate it. I still feel to this day that I can bring value. I look back on certain things that I have accomplished, and I think about ways that I can build upon those. I also, as I mentioned, is someone who's open to learning. And I know there are new board members here that are sitting right here, and I would look forward to having those conversations to look at those different perspectives to see where the board's going, as its strategic vision, to see where the board is going as far as student achievement, not just quantitatively but qualitatively. Okay, student and understanding student engagement. You know, my vision is providing as many opportunities for students to prepare them for college and career and after graduation success here in the district. One of the things that I think through a lot is Somerville is a very successful school district, and what we can possibly learn from students who have graduated and who are out in the workforce, and maybe possibly thinking through some type of 360 mechanism. I'm probably getting off message here. The 360 mechanism where they can come and motivate other students, because when students are confident, and students, whether they are confident in club activities, sports, or something that they're involved with, hopefully that confidence can be translated into academics as well. So, okay, I hope I answered your question, sir. And,
thank you.
Thank
Vice
you.
President, Mr. President,
Thanks.
thank you for the time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Joe. All right.
but not least.
Exactly.
All right. How are you doing?
All right.
Good. Okay, so as I mentioned, just in the opening, we're going to ask you the same questions we asked the other board members. We have about 10 minutes for the interview. The only two people that will ask the questions are myself and Ms. Sherwin. Okay, so I'm just going to keep in mind we have your resume, so
Right.
you know everybody's familiar with that. So try to think outside your resume, you know, in terms of things that you're sharing with us. But why do you want to be a member of the Board of Education?
Well, I have a deep passion for Somerville. I am born and raised and went through this system myself, and I would just like to be in communication with my fellow parents and teachers and have that line of communication open and be their voice.
Great.
So, how do you believe the Board of Education, how we can impact students and overall achievement?
Well, you guys run, you are the ones who hear the voices and are able to advocate for our students and our faculty. So, it's super important. I'm sorry, I'm getting very tired. Can you repeat the question again?
Oh, of course I can, sure. How do you believe we as a board or the Board of Education can impact students and overall achievement?
By providing communication and being open about what is happening with the budget and our numbers with all the testing. Yeah.
Thank you.
So just thinking about ways that we would engage the community, how can or should the Board of Education engage the community?
By being out there, being present, showing up, going door to door, or showing up to events, championship games, sitting next to parents, introducing yourself, showing your face, letting them know who you are so they feel comfortable talking to you and knowing that you are the person that can bring it back to the big dogs.
Thank you. If you're selected to serve on the Board of Education, what perspective would you bring to the board that may not already be present?
I am very involved with a lot of people in the community. I know a lot of people. I am very present in all my children's school activities. I'm at every parent-teacher conference. So I listen to what people say. I hear complaints. It's given me a drive to come here and apply for this position because I would like to be that person that brings in the problem, that brings in the issues that I'm hearing or concerns and coming to a common ground with parents and educators and the board.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so those were the 5 questions we asked other board members. We have a couple minutes. Is there anything else you would like to share with the board about your qualifications that you haven't already shared, or it's not your resume?
I'm a parent that's been in the school system. My daughter's graduating next week. I have a baby coming in to the preschool program, and I'm actively involved in booster clubs, and I would just be very honored to be able to take it up a notch.
Okay. All right, well, thank you for just
Thank you for
being a candidate and for interviewing. So what we are going to do now is we're going to adjourn into executive session so the board can deliberate and just discuss the candidates. I want to thank all of you for just your interviews. So we would expect that that's going to take us about 10 to 15 minutes. I would ask all of you to just adjourn to the hallway. And then when we're done deliberating, we'll call you back in and we'll move on to the next step.
Thank you.
Is there a motion to go into executive session?
So moved.
Mr. Jess, is there a second?
Second.
Ms. Sherwin? Any discussion?
How many times have
All in
discussions
favor?
happened?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We are in executive session at 9:25.
I move that we come back.
Can't do it yet.
Not yet, okay.
All right, we're on
All right.
camera. We're back. Can I please have a motion to return to public session?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we return to public session.
Thank you, Ms. Finhor. Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Jess? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we are back in public session. So I want to thank all of you for just being patient. I'm just going to make a statement here that I think is important that everybody hear this and kind of understand process for this. Before we proceed to nominations and a vote, I want to just review our process. The vacancy was publicly noticed, and interested candidates were invited to submit a letter of interest and resume to the Board of Education. The deadline for submission was May 29, 2026. Tonight, the board conducted candidate interviews and met in executive session to discuss the candidates who submitted their names for consideration. The purpose of the executive session was to allow board members to discuss candidate-specific qualifications, experience, background, and potential fit for the needs of the board. No formal action was taken in executive session, and no appointment decision was made in executive session. Any nomination, discussion, and vote to appoint a candidate will take place here in public session. For the benefit of the public, I want to summarize the factors the board considered in reviewing the candidates. Board members considered each candidate's interest in serving the school community, prior experience, understanding of the role of the board member, ability to work collaboratively, familiarity with the district issues, commitment to students and families, and the perspective the candidate would bring to the board. At this time, before we proceed to nominations and a vote, I will provide board members an opportunity to comment publicly on the candidates and the reasons for their support or concerns. These comments are intended to allow the public to hear the board's deliberation and decision-making process before the board votes to fill the vacancies. Board members are now invited, if they would like to make a comment, you are welcome to do so. You're not required to do so, but if there's anybody that would like to make a comment, I invite you to do so at this time.
Mr. President, can I? So I know you can't see me because I'm in the corner over here, but I'd like to thank everybody for coming out this evening and for participating in the interviews. I know it's a little challenging at times, especially when you have little ones at home trying to get out, especially when you're working, someone is in education. I know spending all day at your school or in the office and then coming out here for something like that is difficult. So thank you very much. There's going to potentially be 3 seats up for election in November, as well as the unexpired term for this one. So since there were 5 people here that have expressed their interest, I would hope that the remaining 4 consider running for those positions again come November, and even the person who is appointed, we would hope that you would consider running again, because you guys are coming up next for our positions, and we need some new blood, and we need different perspectives, as most of you have said. Everybody was I was very impressed with everybody, and again, I'd like to thank you. I remember 9 years ago when I got on the board, it was kind of the same thing. I was a new guy, even though I had experience in education and being as part of the board as well. So thank you very much for coming out tonight and for your interest. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Jess. Any other comments?
I'd also like to echo what Mr. Jess said, and I think it's amazing that we have 5 people coming and expressing interest for 1 slot. So before I got on the board, and this is my first year for those who don't know, I was watching the board for many years, and the last time there was an election, there was 2 people interviewing for 1 slot. So the fact that 5 people want to be involved in the Somerville education community is amazing, and it's something that I think I'd like to congratulate all of you for taking the time. I haven't put my CV together in years, so I was impressed that you all were able to submit one. So thank you for that. I appreciate your energy. I appreciate also every different perspective you each would bring, because I think that each of you could truly bring something unique. So thank you again, and I really hope that you do take the step. July 27th is when they're due in at the Somerset County office over, and if you have any questions, you now need 25 signatures instead of 10. If you do have any questions about the process, I'm always here to answer any questions.
All right, not right now.
Not now, not now. It's 9 something.
10 years ago, I sat where you are, and I did not get chosen to fill the vacancy and ran in the next election and have been here since then. So don't, if you're not chosen tonight, don't take it as an affront. Just get your hat in the ring for election.
And I just want to say thank you. I too was on the other side, and it was an interesting experience pulling the curtain back, having been in education and coming to sit on this side of the table. I do have to say, I know that Dr. Hutchinson had mentioned that each of you would bring a unique perspective, which is super important. We represent not only the children, first of all, right, and our community, but also all stakeholders, whether or not they have children in the district or not. But one of the things that all of you had in common was a deep passion and love for this community, and I think it mirrors what makes Somerville truly special. So I just wanted to make sure I say thank you for that, and I would echo what everyone else has said here. To have 5 people sitting here interested and vested for the future of our community is truly inspiring. So thank you.
I don't want to keep us here until 10 o'clock, but I do just want
Let's
to
do it. Let's do it.
echo the thank you that you all came and showed up and were so passionate about it. Learning about your backgrounds and your whys was incredibly helpful. And again, just like everyone else has reiterated, filing date is in July, and I hope that everyone will make sure that they're filing their paperwork and will be able to continue on this journey. So thank you again for coming.
And you can't see me because I'm really hiding. If you get involved, keep getting involved. We have the communications committee. If you're interested, you reach out to the superintendent as well. And thank you for applying.
And Stephanie, Dale have anything to say?
I'm not going to repeat the same exact things, but I am going to say thank you. I know it's very late, and we really appreciate you all coming out and, being here so late, and we hope to see you in November.
And I'll just throw in a thank you also. I'm the Branchburg representative, and I also did an interview in Branchburg and did not get it, and then got voted on the following year. So, but thank you all for coming out, and
All right.
great to have everybody's perspective.
Okay, I want to thank everybody for the comments. I'm not going to repeat everything. I do want to just mention, even in the interview responses, we learn a lot from what people say. And I think I do want to thank all of you for just being candid in your responses. You all gave us, I think, different perspectives to consider. But the difference in those perspectives is really important. And it's something, again, that I think the board heard that, the board recognizes that, and as we move forward, that's just something for us to consider as well. All right, so right now, this is another step within this process. We will now open the meeting for public comment on the board vacancy and the candidates under consideration. You are the public today, so if any of you have a comment to be made, you're welcome to speak. Okay. All right, can I have a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Mr. Jess, can I have a second, please?
Second.
Ms. Van Horn? Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, public comment is now closed. So we will now proceed with the nominations to fill the board vacancy. At this time, I would like to seek nominations for the vacant Board of Education seat. Motions for nominations for the vacant Board of Education seat are made by board members. So would anybody like to make a motion to nominate a person for a seat?
I'll make a motion. I would like to nominate Mr. Luke Sergio for the vacancy for the Board of Education for the term from today until December 31st of 2026.
Thank you, Mr. Jess. Are there any other nominees? Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion to close nominations. Were you going to make a nomination?
I was.
Okay, make a
For
nomination.
Heather Danbury.
Okay, all right. Any other nominations? Okay. Mr. Boyce, just point of clarification. For each nomination, do I need a second?
I prefer you do get a second.
All right, I'm going to go back for a minute. Mr. Jess was the first for Mr. Sergio. Is there a second for Mr. Sergio?
Second.
Ms. Kraska, okay. Ms. Sherwin was the first, and Ms. Danbury. Is there a second for Ms. Danbury?
Second.
Ms. Van Horn? Okay, are there any other nominees? Okay, seeing none, may I have a motion to close the nominations for Board of Education's vacant seat?
So moved.
So moved.
Ms. Van Horn was first. Second?
Second.
Mr.
I've been
Jess?
moving a lot
Okay.
this evening.
Okay, it was kind of a race start. Okay. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, nominations are now closed. Okay, so now we are going to vote. So Mr. Boyce, just
Drop down.
clarification?
Drop down. So
Okay, I got it. I'm going to do, so I need to do two. Okay. So we're going to do a vote on each resolution, though.
each person, the first person to reach 5 yes votes actually wins the nomination
But I need to do,
in the order in which they were nominated. So it would be Mr. Sergio first.
and we're going to vote on Mr. Sergio.
Yes.
And people can only vote once.
You vote yes or no on Mr. Sergio.
Okay,
This is not Chicago.
all right.
So, okay.
But if you, I just want to point of clarification, because I have a feeling, I know what you're thinking.
Yeah.
If you vote yes for Mr. Sergio, are you also allowed to vote yes for Ms. Danbury?
There's no, you're not precluded from doing that as far as I know. No.
So
you
members could vote yes
Yes.
for both candidates if they wanted to, because they're two separate resolutions. Okay,
Point of clarification, if Mr. Sergio receives 5 votes, then it's done, then there's no more voting, then Mr. Sergio is appointed. You don't go 5 for him and then vote for the next
okay,
candidate.
so
and
if
get
he
5
has
more.
5, then we don't vote
Correct.
for Ms. Danbury.
First one wins 5 to.
Okay. Okay. It's really late.
Past
I'm
your bedtime.
sorry.
Past your bedtime.
I apologize to all of you. I'm just,
Brain cells are dwindling for all of us.
all right, so I'm just going to read the resolution. Resolved that the Board of Education here, is that what I'm doing?
Yes.
Yes. Resolved that the Board of Education hereby appoints Mr. Luke Sergio to fill the vacant seat left by Mr. Mateo Garcia.
No, we did not vote. You
That's
don't
what
read
I
the
thought.
resolution until after you vote. You must take the vote first and
That's what I
vote.
was asking.
And once
said-
you have
said to
5
read
votes,
that.
then you read the
That's what
resolution.
I thought.
We're gonna vote on this resolution.
Yeah, but
But I'm gonna
Mr.
read-
Sergio has not won, neither has Ms. Danbury, so you can't read a resolution appointing them until.
You read the resolution, you vote on it, and if it gets 5 yes votes.
Okay. All right.
Should I finish
So what are
reading
you
the
doing, Bill?
I'm going to finish reading the
Okay,
resolution.
all right, let's see what happens.
Resolved that the Board of Education hereby appoints Mr. Luke Sergio to fill the vacant seat left by Mr. Mateo Garcia to the Somerville Board of Education, and further be it resolved that Mr. Sergio shall serve until the board's organization meeting in January 2027. And be it finally resolved that Mr. Sergio undergo the requisite criminal history background check within 30 days. Is there a second? No, there needs to be a first. Mr. Jess, is there a first?
I will make that yes.
Mr. Jess is the first. Is there a second? Thank you, Ms. Smith. Ms. Smith. Okay. So now we are going to do a roll. Mr. Boyce, do a roll.
We're saying yes or no?
You're saying yes or no?
Mrs. Van Horn,
Yes.
Dr. Hutchison,
Yes.
Mr. Jess,
Yes.
Mrs. Hodges,
Yes.
Mrs. Sherwin,
Yes?
Mrs. Kraska,
Yes.
Mrs. Dale,
Yes.
Mr. Kinnick,
Yes.
Mrs. Smith.
Yes.
I thought she can't vote.
No, she can.
She can, yeah, we found that out. But-
Sorry. I just want to try, I'm trying to be,
No, you're doing, thank you, yeah, no, she can vote, yeah. Okay. So, congratulations, Mr. Sergio. All right. Okay, Okay, Mr. Shagil, we're going to ask that you come up here now because you need to take the oath.
Of course, please, please. But thank you.
Did I? Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
I state your name.
Okay, Mr. Sergio, can you raise your right hand and repeat after me? I state your name.
I, Lucien Sergio,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and the Constitution of the State of New Jersey,
and that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same
and to the governments established in the United States and this state
and to the governments established in the United States and this state,
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
under the authority of the people, so help me God.
I state your name,
I, Lucien Sergio,
do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of a Board of Education,
that I possess the qualifications prescribed by law for the office of member of the Board of Education,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
and that I am not disqualified as a voter pursuant to RS 19:4-1,
nor disqualified due to a conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJSA 18A12-1,
nor disqualified due to conviction of a crime or offense listed in NJS 18A:12-1,
and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office
and I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of that office,
according to the best of my ability, so help me God.
according to the best of my abilities, so help me God.
Okay, congratulations.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Oh.
Now you're not allowed to talk, you're on the board. Congratulations, Mr. Shapiro. And again, thank you to all of you who are still here that ran. We really do appreciate it. We are very serious. We encourage you all to put your name in to run for the open seats that will be available come in the next election. Ms. Kraska mentioned the Communications Committee. That is a board committee that meets, probably quarterly right now. That committee is involved with the referendum, is involved with so a lot of what we were talking about here, the outreach to the community. So in the short term, we would ask that, if you have that interest to connect with our superintendent about being on that committee and call Dr. Hutchinson about what you need to do for your candidate paperwork. Okay.
Come to my house, we'll
Yes.
sign.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for the effort tonight. Is there a motion to adjourn, Mr. Sergio?
So moved, Mr. President.
Thank you. Is there a second, somebody? Ms. Kraska, any discussion?
I would really like to talk about.
Would you like to stay for 10 more minutes?
I don't know if it's
all
time
right.
yet. I don't think we've discussed.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right.
Thank you.